Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we will be creating a simple ice freeze effect on our camera lens, and this video will also serve to be an entry point on how to go about full screen shader in Godot. For this I will be using Godot 4.1 and I have a nice little scene setup. Also, I will be using an add-on called Shader-Lib, which is created by none other than yours truly, which will add some 12 extra nodes for visual shader. So go to Asset Library, search for Shader-Lib, and just hit the download. After importing the add-on, if you don't see additional nodes in Visual Shader, just go to Project, Reload Current Project. It's not like you absolutely need the add-on, but still, it will be easier to follow along. Okay, having said that, let's get shading. First, let's create a shader, so create new resource, then visual shader. Then make sure you select the mode canvas item. Then let's call it free shader. We will also create a material for our shader, so again create new resource and shader material. I will call it freeze. Then I like to select the extension .material. Then assign our shader to our material. Now the question is, where do we apply our material? So let's create a canvas layer in our scene. It will add a 2D layer which will render the elements inside of it on top of our scene. Then let's create a color rect in our canvas layer. And we will apply our material to our color rect and set its anchor to full rect. In our visual shader, go to Fragment Processor. Here, first let's create a Texture 2D node. Then in the first drop-down, select Screen. This will give us a screen texture, meaning whatever our camera is seeing will be stored in that texture. Let's take its color and feed it into the color block of our output node. That's our basic setup done. Now for the effect, let's create a simple noise node. It's a node from the add-on which gives us this nice value noise. If you don't want add-on, you could just go Texture 2D. Then select the noise texture, but this is more handy. Then we will control this scale from the inspector. So let's create a float parameter. I will call it distortion scale. Allow the default value and set it to 3. Take its output and feed it into the scale. We will use our simple noise to distort the UVs of our texture. So let's grab the UVs first. Take input node's output and feed it into the mix node. Make sure you have selected the vector 2 because, well, UVs are vector 2. Then take our simple noise node's output and feed it into the input B of our mix node. Then we would like to control this weight from the inspector. So let's create a float parameter. I will call it distortion blend. Give a default value of 0.2. Also set its hint to range with minimum value 0 and maximum 1. So basically we clamp the value between 0 and 1. Now what mix node does is it linearly interpolates between input A and B based on the weight, which has a valid range between 0 to 1. If we feed 0 into 8, it will return input A, if we feed 1, it will return input B. If we feed 0.5, it will return 50% from A and 50% from B, and so on. Then take our mix node's output and feed it into the UV of our texture 2D node. Now if I play and adjust our material, we have this nice effect. Which is pretty cool, but this effect can be useful in a render or some sort of transition, but it's not useful at all in actual gameplay. So let's try to make it like vignette at the edges of our game screen. Now how can we add a vignette? We could go like, let's subtract our noise from ellipse node, which is another handy node from the add-on, but the problem is the value just basically jumps from 0 to 1, and we want more of a smooth vignette. One way to do it is take the UV function node with the mode panning, set the offset to -0.5, -0.5, take its output and feed it into vector length node, which basically returns the length of a vector, and UVs are vector 2, so keep the mode vector 2. And we have this nice fade. And to control the fade strength, we will take our length and feed it into power node. Power node will darken the values which are less than 1 as we increase the power. Then we will create another float parameter, call it power, give default value of 3 and feed it into the input B. Now how do we combine our vignette with our noise? Pause the video and try to guess it. Well, we will just multiply these two. Make sure you select float operator. Now we can just take our multiply node's output and feed it into the mix node, right? Well, no, life is not that easy. See what happens if we feed 1 to our weight. We are getting nice distortion of UVs at the edges, but the center is completely black, which will lead to some weird effect. Instead of the black parts, we want actual undistorted UVs. Now I won't tell you to guess this one because it's slightly complicated, so take our multiply node's output and feed it into 1- node. And 1-, as the name suggests, subtracts any value we feed in with 1. In our case, it will just flip the colors. We will get black where it's white and vice versa. Then we will multiply our 1- with our UVs. This time, make sure you have selected vector operator with vector 2 selected. What we are doing here is, we are distorting the UVs at the edges, but keeping the same UVs at the center. Then take its output and feed it into input B of our mix node. I also like to add some snow at the edges, so let's take our distorted vignette and feed it into another multiply node. Then let's create another float parameter, call it intensity, give default value of 1 and feed it into multiply node. Finally, let's add this on top of our texture. You can do it with color operator, but I like to do it with vector operator. Then take its output and feed it into the color. That's it for our shader. It will look like this at the end. And we have nice freeze lens effect. That's pretty much the video. If you find the video helpful, consider like, share and subscribe. Wishlist my game Cosmic Roads on Steam. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. That's it from me. and I will see you guys in the next one.